Welcome to episode Custom Climbings, where I take your situation and your climbing goals and I give you a custom climbing plan around it. Today we have a 27-year-old dude by the name of Sam. He stands at 5'4", weighs about 160 pounds, and he can do 20 pull-ups. Nice. So far he's been climbing for about 4 years, about 3 times per week, and he has had no systematic training. Now his goal, currently he climbs V4 and he wants to start projecting V5/V6 climbs. And he does kind of have a slight wish to improve his lower body mobility. So with that being said, let's hop into the plan, right? First off, let's address the projecting harder climbs. And honestly speaking, if you just want to start projecting harder climbs, all you really got to do is start projecting harder climbs. There's no basic requirement to start projecting harder climbs. And the only thing holding you back is your preconceived notion that you aren't ready yet. Like, for example, I think some people think that at some point in time, the next grade is going to be easy to come by, when in reality, it's never not. It's V3, V4, V5, V6, V7, and the higher you go up, the harder it is to generally go up, exponentially wise. So you're climbing like V4 and you want to start climbing V5, all you really got to do is start climbing V5s. Now, the training plan is going to go like this. At the start of each of your session, because you never done any systematic training, let's introduce some systematic training so that your fingers get stronger systematically, which would be a good thing. So at the start of your session, once you're done warming up, you're going to find the 20 millimeter edge. You're going to half crimp it, right? And then you're going to hold it for 5 to 10 seconds with your feet off the ground, if applicable. Hopefully it is. You're going to hold it for 5 to 10 seconds. Rest 60 seconds. Repeat 3 to 5 times, depending on how you feel. After the half crimps on 20 mil, you're looking at 20 millimeter, 3-finger drag, 5 to 10 seconds, rest 60 seconds, repeat 3 to 5 times, depending on how you feel. And then you're gonna whop it to the 10 millimeter edge. You're gonna hit it the full crimp, and you're just gonna do some max isometric pose. So you're just gonna crank down as hard as you can for 3 seconds, or 3 breaths, like switch. Do the other side, oof, 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 as hard as you can. You're gonna rest 60 seconds and repeat that twice. And honestly, what we're hoping this hangboarding protocol does for you is it just introduces you to systematic hanging, and it gets your fingers used to having your body hanging from just your fingers with no particular support. And the reason why we throw in those 10 millimeter edges with the full crimp, with the max isometric, is I want you to get used to pulling on really small edges as hard as you can, but in a safe way. Therefore, you don't dry fire off and nothing particularly bad happens. Hence, your feet are on the ground when you do your max isometrics. Now, for the climbing part of your climbing plan, let's say you climb 3 times per week, which you do. And let's say you climb Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You're gonna do the climbing plan on Monday and Friday. Therefore, Wednesday will be a day where you do whatever you feel like doing. Don't go too hard. But on Monday and Friday, because you have access to a moon board, you're gonna go to the moon board, select V5, benchmarks, select sort by easiest. You're going to select the top 3 climbs. And so now you have 3 V5s you're going to mess around with for 1 hour. You're going to spend 20 minutes on the first V5, 20 minutes on the second, 20 minutes on the third. If for any reason you're able to do one of them, you're now going to split your 1 hour of projecting time in half. So you're going to do 30 minutes, 30 minutes. If you're able to do that one, you're going to spend all 60 minutes working on one climb. And during these trying times, you will figure out that you are able to do some of the moves on the V5, and hence we hit your goal of projecting V5s, yay. But you also come to the realization that as long as you start trying really, really hard on these really, really hard climbs, then you will start to make some form of a progression. And that's the important part that matters, not necessarily completion. But with that being said, let's also introduce the idea and the rule that when you're projecting your 3 V5s, you cannot change them until 6 sessions has passed by. Reason why is because I want you to force yourself to face your problems and not just run away from them and find something a little bit easier or more in your style. You're just going to choose 3 at random, particularly the top 3, and you're going to do them for 6 sessions. Now, the reason why we're not going to push it past 6 sessions is because let's say you're able to do 2 of them and there's just one boulder problem that's just stomping you. I don't think it's mentally and or physically that good for the human body to keep throwing yourself at the same problems over and over again when you have made as much progression on it in a reasonable time as possible. At that point in time, after those 6 sessions, feel free to select a whole new set of V5s to mess around with. But during those 6 sessions, it's rather important that you don't give up on yourself and you don't wait for that 6 sessions to come so that you could just find new boulder problems to do. Nope, you should try as hard as you can to the very last second. And that's particularly a very important part of this. And again, you only have a time limit of 1 hour to project, never more, just because I don't want you to go 2 balls to the wall. And after you're done projecting, feel free to do whatever you feel like for the rest of the day, except projecting those 3 climbs. Yeah. Now allow me to introduce to you a dynamic lower body stretching mobility thing that you can do 2 to 3 times a week at your leisure, and it's a very more dynamic thing. Is it the best thing in the world? Nah. Is it good? Yeah. All right, let's get started. First off, we're gonna do that Goku stretch, where you do some sides to sides. 1, 2, 3, 4. For each one of these stretches, you're gonna do it 10 times, and you're gonna do it one after another until the final one. Once you're done doing your 10, we're gonna go to deep lunges. All right, you're gonna go deep. You're gonna try to go as far over your knee as possible. Step back, that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, and you're really gonna try to sink in while keeping the knee in front of the body. We really don't want this knee to deviate leftwards or too much inwards. Just in front of the body is what we want, while trying to drop it as low as possible. After your deep lunges, you're gonna sit down on the ground, spread them legs in a pancake fashion. From here, I want you to use your abdominal coreness to squeeze yourself downwards. You're gonna go down, hold for half a second, up. Down, hold for half a second, up. I don't want you to be lazy on these. It is very easy to become lazy on this. Even if you're looking like a turtle, still try to go down as hard as you can. Come up, down as hard as you can, come up 10 times. Again, everything here will be done for 10 for easy memory. Afterwards, you're gonna stand up and then you're gonna do some knee downs. Feel free to put like a pillow in front of your knees or something if you don't feel super comfortable. But basically, all you're gonna do is drop down your knees, stand back up. 1, 2, 3. And all we're basically doing is just getting you accustomed to fully bending your knee, having the strength to come back out of the situation and not die, right? Not to mention, it's kind of like semi-good for building balance. And this will be kind of like a regression to something cooler in the future. But that'll be for a different video, right? Afterwards, we got some standing forward fold downs, right? In your standing forward fold position, knees completely straight, a little bit bent, it's all right, doesn't really matter. From here, using your core, squeeze it, hip hinge. You're gonna go down, hold for half a second, stand all the way up, go down, hold it for half a second, all the way up. One more time. And you're gonna do that 10 times. Immediately moving on to break your knees. Very cool. Good basic stance. Hiya! 1. Hiya! 2. Nice and simple. Weighing the leg that's going down. If it's too much pressure, feel free to shift it a little bit more over to the supporting leg. And repeat. Really good for your knees. Really good for drop kneeing action. Just making sure your joints and everything is nice and bendable. So after you got through all those exercises, 10 reps per exercise, you're gonna rest 60 seconds. Repeat 2 to 3 times. And that should help you. Serves as a good warm-up or cool down. And I must mention, this is a starting program for you, Sam. It's more of a guideline more than anything else. Don't view it as the law. Feel free to adjust it according to you and how you like it, how you find it most enjoyable, because that is the most important thing. With that being said, I reckon you should start to see some form of improvement in your ability to try hard and do harder moves in approximately 2 to 3 weeks. Your mobility should improve slightly in 2 to 3 weeks as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, partner.